Beautiful Freak is the debut album by American rock band Eels. It was released on 13 August 1996 and is the first album released by record label DreamWorks. Background and production. Beautiful Freak is largely the solo work of musician Mark Oliver Everett. It is his first album using the full band name Eels, in an attempt to get the records in the same general location in the stores as his previous works, under the name of E. The album is produced by E. John Bryan, Mark Goldenberg and Michael Simpson. Content. Novocaine for the Soul contains samples of Let the Four Winds Blow by Fats Domino. Susan's House contains a sample of Love Finds Its Own Way by Gladys Knight and the Pips. Guest List contains a sample of I Like It by The Emotions. And Flower contains sample of I'm Glad You're Mine by Al Green. Album cover. Everett had suggested having a little girl with big eyes on the cover. The girl that came in to have her picture taken incidentally looked like a miniature Susan, too. Everett, a girlfriend of his a few years before and the subject of the song, Susan's House. Release. Beautiful Freak was released on August 13, 1996, by record label DreamWorks, the first album released on the label. The album peaked at number 5 on the UK Albums Chart. 4 singles were released to promote the album. Novocaine for the Soul in February 1996. Susan's House in May, Your Lucky Day in Hell in September, and the title track the following year, My Beloved Monster, would appear on the soundtrack of the DreamWorks animated movie Shrek 5. Years later, the April 1997 German release of the album included a bonus live EP from a BBC recording session. Reception. In a contemporary review of Beautiful Freak, Q praised the album as a complete musical vision, a genre-spanning soundscape that reels you in with its myriad hooks. Robert Hilburn of the Los Angeles Times wrote that Eels' maverick vision reminds you of all the great Los Angeles bands, from the Flying Burrito Brothers to X, that have chronicled the outsider, underdog attitude in the shadows of a record industry that never embraces them commercially. Ethan Smith of Entertainment Weekly stated that the Eels' post-grunge pop melodies and quirky, intelligent production make for catchy modern rock that's miles ahead of the competition, but felt that E's attempts at warts-and-all portrayals of urban life come off as a disingenuous, arty pose, and that a little less pretension would get these guys a lot further. Chicago Tribune critic Mark Caro was less favorable, writing that E's lyrics paint him as either naive and self-absorbed or patronizing and calculating. The Village Voice's Robert Christgau signed the album a dud rating, indicating a bad record whose details rarely merit further thought. Quote, in his retrospective review, James Crispell of AllMusic wrote, concise pop tunes form the backbone of the album, yet tinges of despair and downright meanness surface just when you've been lulled into thinking this is another pop group. Trouser Press wrote that E's material works best when he finds the rare balance between his misanthropy and his capacity for warmth. Quote, as of 1999, the album has sold 189,000 units in United States. Legacy. The album was included in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. Track listing. All tracks written by Mark Oliver Everett, except as noted. Personnel. Certifications. Pipe closing curly bracket. Beautiful Freak Discogs. List of releases.